here we are again. I thought this video would be about frolicking ponies, but once again, Mother Nature has other plans for us. Ponies frolicking in the sunshine will have to wait for another day. Word on the wire was that a hurricane had been ravaging the Caribbean and that Puerto Rico was especially hard hit. Next we heard the storm was gathering in size and strength and was headed straight for us. With heavy weather on the way, we made ready for an old-fashioned barn bracing. This particularly uncomfortable little time lapse is me bracing the front doors of the barn and writing the animals' information, my contact information, and the feed instructions on the bar, just in case it went real sideways on us. Next, I got to work boarding up the windows on the barn. I wanted to leave a couple of cracks for some light to come through, as I figured the ponies might be in there for a while. I've said before how great the community is here. Well, one of the members of the community here offered to sell me a generator just in time for the storm and a cable to go with it. It needed a little TLC, but we got it to where we figured we could rely on it at least for the next few days. After that, it was finishing touches. There was a few clogged downspouts and some other stuff around the house that needed addressing before the storm hit. Stuff like this may seem trivial at a time like this, but it's the little things that count. Wet jacket now might mean a dry basement later. I've also said before that you're watching a rank amateur. Well, that was me snaking a downspout with some downed fence wire. At the supper hour, I explained to the ponies at the risk of sounding dramatic that we were in for it. I told them that no matter what, I had their backs, and that if something happened to me, I had left enough supplies and instructions on how to keep them safe in my absence. Then I got to work getting me and Courtney's stuff together. The storm blew in around 1 a.m. and steadily got stronger all night. Around 5, I put the kettle on and made breakfast for the horses. During a lull in the gale, I snuck out to the barn and was happy to see that everyone was warm and dry. Our little heroes hadn't got much sleep, but other than that, they were none the worse for wear. We had made it this far, but we weren't out of the woods yet. Daylight would break soon, and with daylight always comes some comfort. I could hear the wind howling outside and the trees groaning. I knew we hadn't taken a direct hit, but I was fearful that someone close by had. Daylight brought the surprise that, not unlike me, despite a few sore limbs, the trees had made it through the night. It was still blowing stink, but it was safe to say that we had seen the worst of it while it was still dark. I'd say safe would be a strong word, but I felt comfortable taking some shots. I even saw a bird testing his mettle early in the morning. All three of these seafaring adventurers are well overdue for some serious grooming. King Larry was up first, as he cares the most about his outward appearance. He explained to me during the process that he was quite upset with me for bringing him to a new town and having him out like a streel. He told me my timing was good and that if I hadn't got him fixed up today, that they were starting a 3-piece band called Willie and the Woolly Woos, and they were going on tour. We tried out a few different looks, but in the end we settled on the old side part. Then finally, with the wind dying down, I began to lower the shields. I took stock of the minor damage that we did have around the house, and I pulled down a limb that was hanging over where we turned the ponies out. By late afternoon, I was even able to get the ponies out for a run. Some of the neighbors even popped by to make sure we were okay. With the backdrop of the sun peeking through the clouds and the reports of serious damage just an hour north of us, we began to realize just how lucky we were last night. I know I live an amazing life in a magical place, and I'm thankful for it every day. And it's events exactly like these that often remind you of that fact. Events like these will also remind you to double check the sunroof in the wife's car when a hurricane blows through. By early evening, the last remnants of the storm had mostly moved off and peace had returned to the county. Even if we had taken just a glancing blow, walking into a warm, clean, dry barn and seeing the ponies content in their stalls sure was a relief. Even if after all my hard work everyone was sporting that windswept look again. The gang has a message for all the people in hard-hit areas. They want you to hang in there, and they want me to let you know that they're there for you until you're back on your own hooves. So, on behalf of myself, Courtney, and the crew in the barn, good night, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again real soon.